Hi everyone. Um, it's unusual for me to start even with uh, being the main moderator. Hi everyone. So already we have more than 500 people on the call.
Yeah,
Welcome to the next one more blockchain sports updates call. I'm happy to see everyone. I'm seeing a lot of um, of our friends joining. Today on the call will be me, Artyom, the CEO of the blockchain project. Whoever doesn't know, we have with us Dmitry Mikhalchuk, who will tell us the latest updates on his part of the project, everything that is happening in Saudi, etc. Also, we have Alan. Hey, Alan.
hi.
Yeah, Alan is head of the global development department, and he will talk about all the collaborations and the stuff going on in various directions that blockchain sports is evolving. I think it's first time for you, Alan, on the global call, right?
It is, yeah, my first time, and I hope not the last. So just be patient with me.
Yeah, although you have been working with us for some time, but somehow you have been working in the shadows. So we are very, and I'm sure all the community is thrilled to meet you, to see and learn the part that you are taking care of. Okay, I think we have more than 700 people already on the call. We can start. Basically, we had the last global call, I think, um, around 6 or 7 weeks ago. We covered the several parts and the whole time the team has been working, and we uh, have several milestones that we have to reach, and we are working every day to reach them. The Atleta part, the football part, the reality, the XR, the Saudi direction, the drift, the motor, all of that is evolving step by step. So I'll hope we get the most parts covered and the latest updates on every direction today. But I would like to start with Dima Mikhalchuk because he has the most news and the most big things planned and going on. So, Dima, microphone to you.
Thank you, Artem. Hello, everyone. Happy to see you all. Happy to join the global update. As you may know, may not know, we've been spending a lot of time in Saudi Arabia, executing our plan, for which we built the entire blockchain sport ecosystem. The launch is supposed to align with the World Cup 2034. And therefore, all of the initiatives are launched to target a very specific customer, the country. Within the country, we had a lot of meetings, not just a lot of meetings, a lot of meaningful meetings on different levels. We started with the biggest tech company in the country, which is called Elm. Elm is the semi-government $30 billion company that basically makes any tech request possible for the government. But the way they make it, what we basically collaborating on is anything AI. Basically, our team is still stronger. They've admitted that, and so they would like to collaborate on certain sports-related projects, especially the refurbishment of all the or digitization of all the stadiums in Saudi Arabia to prepare it for the World Cup using our technology. So that's a very positive news. And we already discussed placing our cameras. Our solution is going, we built an augmented reality solution quickly to run a pilot to see if we can expand our collaboration. And it all plays well into our hand. Because the moment we introduced the AR solution, they asked, can we test it, pilot it on Formula E, Formula One? because the races are going to happen much sooner than the World Cup. So they would like to trial this technology, and obviously it's a paid gig. So the more types of agencies we engage and they get interested, the better we are rooted in Saudi Arabia, and obviously we build up the trust, and we become the go-to company for any sports-related tech solutions, which is excellent news, because we outrun so far all the competition, even the local competition, which is, for us, it's very heartwarming to hear that we provide a very good solution at a very good price point. There was a lot of movement around the Formula Drift. At the beginning, Saudis were seeing our drift as just a local event. Even though we were trying to portray it as a global, an opportunity to build a global brand and a global race, they would still somehow not see it. But in recent days, when we moved into a closed circle that manages Formula One and Formula E, those guys have a better vision, like better global vision, and so they became very excited, and so we're pushing it to launch the first race during summer, during the Esports World Cup, and this is where our Football XR should launch as well. So last year we attempted to get our own space. It was too difficult because the spaces were already, the size of the venue was limited. It was a temporary venue as well. We didn't know that at the time. We thought that would be the permanent location for the Esports World Cup, but apparently it was an unfinished theme park that donated these spaces because it wasn't finished to the Esports World Cup. So that's why it all smelled paint and like being very fresh when we arrived. But there was no space to squeeze our XR football. But this time, we're speaking to the authorities. This time, we already speak to the director of Esports World Cup. And I've met with the president of Esports Global in Paris at the Olympics last year. We discussed how we can bring first of all, Football XR needs to become a recognized type of gaming before it can become an esports. But it is very much possible to push it into esports. And we already talked through the plan, step-by-step plan, how we can make it happen. And so one of the ways that was suggested, and this is what we're really working on now, is to recognize the Football XR as the game of the World Cup 2034, because EA Games itself has lost the license. They are no longer the game of the FIFA. And so we can speak to FIFA even to make it a local game, almost start with Saudi Arabia, for Saudi Arabia 2034. Even that would give us enough spotlight to basically jumpstart it as a global phenomenon, and we're going to start exporting it to other countries. There is interest, and step by step I found a good solution which might work actually well with existing infrastructure, because obviously the world now wants to save money, not to spend more money. And we found out that our playing area is exactly the same size as the paddle court. So I'm now working with paddle court owners, and they're somewhat interested because there's nothing needed to basically run the XR football except for cameras. And cameras are an easy install. So once we install the cameras and a small computer, the place is ready for the gaming. And it's a very good potential because there are thousands of paddle courts now in Saudi Arabia, both indoor and outdoor, and globally. It's a global phenomenon. It's growing fast. And I've already met with global operators that operate multiple countries at a time, which is a good entry point. And we're looking to expand this and give another alternative to paddle sport, especially since the paddle sport itself invites at least 4 players to play paddle. And this is what football concept is like. We have 5-on-5. between different locations. We want to run online scoring. We want to run online tables basically for competition and so on, and the matching experience as well. So this is something that makes it very accessible, easy to install, easy to operate, and an advanced kind of football that will promote the big game. Very much loved by the Ministry of Sports. The idea of them, because the Saudi Arabia is trying to expand on and push into the culture, the understanding of sport, because previously there wasn't much going on in the country in terms of sport. So going back to drift, drift is again is of much interest, and we started sending it to other countries now. The news and trying to engage the people that are interested very much in the sport. And so there is traction. We already built a plan on how the investors can play the role and buy out whoever wants to exit, for example. We build a multi-tiered, basically, story and a long-term, like 5-year term plan, where we can introduce opportunities for investors to come in, to buy local story, to make it a marketing engine by itself, to make it into a much bigger thing than just sport itself. Because everybody wants a multi-use product. And this is what we're also upgrading it into without like needing a huge amount of capital to make it happen. So, which is also working really well into like capitalization, into how it's perceived, into a safety for an investor and so on. So very good news on this front. And it really gains traction. There's another initiative that we haven't announced yet, but this is I'm going to leave to the to Ilya and the team to announce later on. This is a big thing as well, which will show our progress. Again, very positive news. We're looking forward to launch that new initiative soon, and I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Artem, do I need to cover?
There is one thing that I wanted to ask because often we are getting messages from the community to explain step by step the plan, and coming back to the Elm collaboration, we have shown in our social media to the community the signing of the MOU. And if you can you show step by step the plan to get to agreement, to like start of the process? What is the plan now?
With Elm, we have
whatever you can tell at the moment.
Of course. With Elm, we have a multi directional collaboration. So we signed a deal to develop both artificial intelligence in terms of autonomous cars, and this is where we're pushing our AI versus human drift story as the platform upon which we're going to build this top of the level AI to drive the car. Because for AI to understand how to drift is 10 times more difficult than to drive on a straight road. But at the same time, for AI to understand what to do if the car is skidding, for example, going through aquaplaning and stuff like that, it's also important for our own safety. So if we were to look at from a safety perspective, our engine is going to be much more advanced than the likes of like Tesla and the other brands that are already building, because they're mainly focusing on small obstacles and small avoidance algorithms. I worked with Volvo. I worked with many car manufacturers on this from a different angle, where I provided technology to measure the amount of stress that people would go through if the car is swerving and trying to stop suddenly and so on. So I have that internal knowledge of where they are at in terms of their development. So at the moment, our product will be much more interesting and covers more areas, basically, for what we can deliver. Also, Elm is developing an Arabic LLM, which is super crucial for us because we have a product just on time where we want to build a virtual assistant for the sports events. So, and this is what cements our ground basically for becoming the go-to company for technology for sports. Because when we talk about computer vision, when we talk about collecting statistics, where we talk about the esports games where we can play from multiple locations, we need to understand telecoms, we need to understand AI, we need to understand computer vision, we need to understand many things that we need to prove. So this is what gives us a level of proof which nobody can argue with. Also, Elm is looking for us to come in and help with their local R&D. This is where I see this as a very good opportunity for our AI guys to understand the state of their AI or technology that they are providing to the stadiums already. We see a little bit of Intelab, but if we do it more efficiently, we've already spoken to Elm, they will literally leave it to us to implement. So they will not compete internally with us. And Elm is very important for us to come into the country as a company, because it turned out that according to different lawyers that we worked with, establishing a company in Saudi Arabia ranges from like anything 2 weeks to 9 months. Like there is no clarity as to how difficult it is to come in and to establish ourselves. There is no clarity on the timing, but with the power of Elm being the biggest company, we're hoping to accelerate every facet, access to data, ability to process data, personal data as well, and so on. So because they are already licensed to do that. So through them, we will receive faster licensing, faster access to special data centers that we need to access to, and allocation of the computational power. So ultra important for us to be partnered with a company like that. Also, we're going into the JV for certain products because they need to be perceived as local products for data safety and security. And so this is where Elm also will provide some capital. So they will finance certain initiatives for us to establish there. So that eases a bit the complexity of establishing ourselves in Saudi Arabia. So this is why Elm is very important for us in our overall strategy to capture the market. And then Elm already has established offices all over the GCC area. So we're talking about UAE, we're talking about Qatar, we're talking about Oman, and so on, so on, so on. So basically, and they expand further. They go into Africa, all the way from South Africa to North Africa, and they're pretty international. They have offices in London as well, which is a big R&D office. I was invited to have a look at. So that potentially gives us a next jump start platform to explore Europe. It's an established relationship. It's an established trust level to this company. So it helps us to unwrap a global story much faster. So I see Elm as a very strategic company to work with.
Yes, and a very crucial point that you highlight, and I will be getting to this later about the contracts. But what is very important then when we are interacting with such a big institutional firms or investors or anyone like government, etc., we are facing with a huge I don't know, bureaucracy, a lot of time needed to secure every step, and this is taking a lot of time, a lot of effort, maybe. Not maybe, for sure, more than we sometimes are even expecting in our darkest dreams. But anyway, we have the whole team who is working on it, and we are moving step by step. And of course, like this collaboration with Elm, the MOU signed that we have posted beforehand is very crucial for us to have a friend that will navigate us through all of this paperwork.
Yes.
Okay. I think more or less we understood the direction that we are moving here. with the drift with Moto XR and the whole Saudi Arabia. Then I would like to switch to Alan, who will tell us more about what's going on in the reality shows and other directions. Hey, Alan.
Artem, thank you so much. It's hard to follow up on excellence, you and Dimitri, but I will try my best. I guess the most important thing I think for all of our viewers and listeners today, because I know not all people will be actually looking at my face. You're getting off easy on that one if you don't see my face. I'll go through what we have done in terms of, first of all, our sales of our produced content. They include reality shows and produce shows like informational shows, sports shows, and so on, including documentary films. So I'll go through that very, very quickly. Who we signed distribution contracts with, who we've signed with channels, and so on. I'll also tell a little bit about the TV shows or the shows themselves, because they're all going on to TV or to subscription companies. I'll also mention a little bit about a major rollout, which I think is going to excite people quite a bit in terms of with Jiggle. It's in process right now. They're just in the final planning phase. And also in relation to our football club, which I think is something that's, things that pass over between the tech side that improves our on-field performances, then gives back value into our tech, including our XR football, and gets our brand recognition an awful lot higher as well. That sounds okay, Artem? Artem,
Basically, what we first of all, the blockchain ports, so they suck.
I think you froze, or did I freeze or you freeze?
I think Artem is freezing.
He's sitting outside in the cold. He's in Siberia probably today, or maybe Norway, North Norway. Okay, okay, I'll proceed, team.
Yes. Okay. Please do.
So just a very, very short introduction of myself. So my name is Alan Moore. I'm originally from Dublin, Ireland. For most parts of my life, over 30 years, I've been involved in professional sports, both as an athlete, trainer, coach, and administrator, an agent, and of course, all the time as a sports journalist, anchor, host, and commentator. So working then in sports media sales has always been something I've been involved with. So I was very, very happy over a year ago, over a year now, February last year, when blockchain brought me in to help work on the photo chain project, which then has now grown into leading our global development in terms of with our sales, especially of our content, and then working with other partners to help develop, let's just say, pipelines for sales, and especially for our media and our media products. I'll just give it, in terms of our TV shows, I'll give you a very, very quick rundown on the contracts which have been signed, are active and in force as well, and going on air, shall we say. So we have signed with a major media company in North America that is English-speaking North America, that's USA and Canada. They have an overall audience or audiences of up to 30 million people that is working on FAST TV, which is, well, I'll explain it in a moment if anyone wants to have a question, and OTT. So that's mainly subscription channels as well. So we're producing content for them on an ongoing basis, as well as they have brought in, incorporated our already produced content reality shows. That's in North America. In West Africa, West Africa is a number of countries covered with a major distribution agency. The countries include Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon. So that's a minimum of 150 to 210 million audience, working with both TV channels, both main federal or national channels, plus pay TV, subscription TV, and with companies. And I'll explain that in just a moment. So we've signed up with them. They're already taking our content, they're putting it around, and it's been extremely well received, because the majority of our content now that we're producing is in the English language. These are English language speaking countries for the majority, although Cameroon is part French, part English, but they are they like what we're producing, because again, it's produced in a nice, funny style. It's infotainment, sports infotainment, and they're taking it on board. It's nice and easy for us to make, and it's easy for them then to sell. The commercial companies are basically their bookmaker companies and their, for example, beer companies, because this year, especially 2025, there's no distractions. There's no World Cup, which we will be rolling on next year, which is why North America have taken in our football content, because of course they'll have a World Cup going on. There's no European Championships and so on. There's no Olympic Games. So we have a captive audience and we're producing content that's interesting in sports. Most of it's called filler content, but that means that it's evergreen. So the contracts we're signing with distribution companies are for 12 to 24 months. So there's a constant stream of revenue coming in, either quarterly or monthly, depending on the show. With the commercial companies, for example, beer companies in Ghana are buying the content en masse because they're using it for their own social media. So again, it's very, very nice, easy sales for us, and it's great. We are the company we're working with. I've worked with them for quite a number of years. They're very reliable, and the most important thing is that they're getting the best value for our product. In East Africa, we signed with a company in Zambia who have already signed an agreement with the state ZTV, Zambian TV. So they will be putting on two of our shows, Photo Chain, I'll explain about more later, and Top 5 Sports Fact Show. They'll be putting them in there. Now, this company in Zambia also have the rights to sell to further East African English language nations, including Tanzania, Kenya, and so on. But we made a decision to try with them to see when they signed the first contract in Zambia, when the first money came into us, then we can expand it on. So that's where we're at with that. Just as a footprint in Europe, we have in Slovakia, we've signed up already with one company who've bought our content for their national TV channel. A number of nearby countries, including Slovakia, or including Hungary, Czech Republic, and Poland, have also followed suit. We have signed an agreement with a distribution agency in the UK who are taking our motorsports content because they're very interested in drift. They're a company who specialize in motorsports, so they've taken it on. They want to move it on, and they're very, very happy to. They're getting a decent price for us so far, but again, because we're new, our brand is new. They found it quite difficult to get what we feel we deserve, but at the same time, they are pushing the price up, and that's working with them. We're also now signing. We are now in the checking the documents stage from our side with a major Paris-based agency who are going to look after us, shall we say, our distribution in South Asia, excluding India, North Africa, French-speaking North Africa, and English-speaking South Africa. So that doesn't include East Africa, like Zambia and Tanzania and so on. They're going to look after that. This, again, is one of the they're one of the top agencies that are, we would call them boutique, but they look for shows like us that they can then sell very, very quickly, and then we will produce the content that they can sell on very, very quickly, that we're reliable. And again, this is through my own personal contacts, that people really want to work with us. They like our content, they like our style, and the fact that, for example, our Top 5 Sports Fact Show is tech-based, that we use tech, we use blockchain analysis, that's our focus, that it gives extra added value to.
Alan, for someone who is not from industry, that is, we're talking about some distributor that is taking the rights to be providing our content that we're creating. So basically, the Top 5 and the Photo Chain project, and they will be distributing in the local area, paying us some royalty for the revenue, right?
That's right. So we will, from the sales, normally we will get between 70 and 80% of the fees come back to us. So that's it. No, we pay a licensing fee.
I understand.
Yeah.
Do we have some timelines of such flows coming in, or yet? No, yet.
Yeah, well, we do actually, because for example, with North America, the way that the payment goes for them, it's after every quarter. We see the results. We see the like how many not views, but how many sales have gone on, and then within 60 working days of the end of the quarter, we receive the first funds into our account. So realistically, to get the first full decent lump sum of money, we're looking then it will be at the end of the second quarter, which would be 60 days afterwards, then the money coming in. So basically midsummer. For other ones, for example, Slovakia, as soon as the content hits them, because the content they're looking for is currently in post-production. So we're localizing it in the local language. As soon as they get the content, they pay us. At the moment, for the timeline, Artyom, and for everybody, just so you know, the timeline for this is May 11th. So May 11th is when we send the content, and then within 30 working days, the money hits our account. So that's, it's very, very simple. We're very fortunate we have a dedicated reality show production group of people, of really expert people who've been working at the very highest levels of media in Belarus, Russia, not just in Europe as well, and working with foreign productions like from Germany, India, UK. They're able to very, very quickly turn the product around from shooting to actually doing it. And then the localization as well. Localization is the most difficult part. If it's in English language, we're golden. We just have to check the subtitles so that for people hard of hearing and so on. But again, something that we're getting better at, in the sense that we're actually making it quicker because we've got the expertise. Last week, for example, in Moscow, just to give you some nice results on that, we attended the World Content Market, which is one of the major ones in the Russia and CIS countries, which is extremely important. You have countries from all around the world, from China, from Latin America, from Europe as well. Many we're in. We've signed an initial agreement with ZTV from the Middle East. They are looking to take our top 5 in photo chain. That was basically based on the head guy from ZTV, the head of acquisitions, being a Manchester United fan, and he had seen the trailer and said, "Oh, you interviewed Michael Silvestre, the ex-Manchester United player." I said, "We did," and then that caught him. So we'll look at with two that'll surprise are Fiji and Papua New Guinea. The head of Fiji TV and the head of Papua New Guinea TV, thanks to friends of ours in the European Broadcasting Union, were very interested in our Top 5 Sports Facts show, but asked us to produce a season of 15 shows for them. So that's great. We're producing by order. The difficulty we have is finding the price point. So we're now back and forward with that. However, the way that will work is our Tom, so everyone understands that they will pay 50% up front before we begin to produce. We will agree what we're going to do. Before we produce, we get 50% of the fee. And then once we deliver, we get the other 50% within 30 days. So it's a very simple media concept and process. It actually works out well for us because normally it's 25, 25, 50. But we sort of asked them for a bit more upfront because it's very intensive work for this. In Latin America, we've made an outline agreement with a Mexico-based company who are going to cover Spanish-speaking North and South America. They're a very, very strong Mexican company who distribute. We met them last week in Moscow, and they want to take on board our content, especially our football content, because some of it is in Spanish, and it's easy for them then just to distribute. I'll very, very quickly mention our shows. Actually, I know many people already know this from Anastasia, who spoke with you before. Our photo chain, of course, is one that we've got 3 seasons of photo chain. The first season is now ready for distribution. The second season is in post-production, and season 3 is also in post-production, so that we're able to roll them out very, very quickly and basically have content that's ready to sell right away. In terms of the timeline for season 1, the distribution is already happening in North America, in West Africa as well. So they have some of our shows that they're already showing to potential buyers and to companies who like what we're doing. For season 2 and 3, post-production, we have gotten very good feedback on season 1 from buyers. So we're going to tweak slightly some of it, and they'll be ready. We plan by the end of June, but we actually are realistic in saying it'll be by the end of May. So it's a month earlier, simply because everything has been done, but we're just changing, say, some colors, changing some music, and changing the nice kind of like sparkly things on it as well. We're making it a bit more fun for people to watch. Um,
I'm sorry here. I wanted to add that your guys' department is one of the very, very few departments that usually gives out things earlier than the timeline they are mentioning at first.
we,
Usually,
we
much more time than people promise.
we just we have fun. We have fun. So we celebrated what in our department. We celebrated one birthday yesterday, one birthday today. But it was very funny because we celebrated for 30 minutes and then went back to work. So that's our normal thing. On our other shows, for example, Path to the Dream, which is a documentary film um, showcasing our football academies in Brazil, has already been entered into a number of docu-film festivals from Nigeria to North America to Russia and to India. So that will that will be October by the time the festivals are actually taking place. However, the Path to the Dream has been taken on by a number of it'll be in North America, it's in Portuguese, but with English or other subtitles. There's a number of like five five four languages as well as English in subtitles. And one interesting was that there's I would say a faith-based television station in Russia have agreed to buy it. So they will bring it in and put it into their programming simply because it shows about how a company has given back to the community, given back to people, and it's very much a kind of from the heart is what they call it. So they really loved the whole idea of it, and they have now agreed a price for it. In terms of funding for it, the money should when we agreed, we signed the documents. We're hoping to agree it by the end of this month, before the 1st of May, because there'll be like the first half of May will be holidays. So we'll sign the document by the end of this month, so the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be paid by the middle of June, because it'll be 30 days, not working days. That's Path to the Dream. Our Neurodrift, this is coming back to what Dimitri mentioned earlier on. Our Neurodrift has been an absolute hit for sales. Very, very interesting. We have originally 12 shows. We've broken it into 4 and 8. Season 1, because it was a logical ending, we put out almost as a teaser because we spoke with people in the industry, in the media industry, said, look, have a look at this, have a judgment. So we decided, okay, we'll make 2 seasons. So season 1 will be out in North America and in Europe, and in Africa as well, and parts of Asia, especially in India, by all going well by the end of May, but most likely by the middle of June, because of programming, when they find place in the programs. The first 4 shows will be out. People really, really love it, and it goes back. When we were selling it to America, for example, we said, look, we've developed an AI controlled car, a fully autonomous car. Now, of course, I said to the people, this is damn scary. And I said this to Dimitri many times. This is a scary concept. People here in our company, this is so good. The car drives itself. And I'm going, has nobody seen Terminator? Do we not know what happens when machines take over? And I don't want to be Charlton Heston looking at the Statue of Liberty or whoever it may be, or the Arc of Triumph, and going like, you idiots, you killed us, or whatever, like in Planet of the Apes. Could happen, we don't know. But Neurodrift has caught the interest of people everywhere. People, even in Brazil, we actually had to turn down, now they're the 3rd biggest TV channel, because they wanted to put it onto their Fast platform, simply because they said, look, we'll just put it out and we'll try it. It was like, well, we've already, agreed sales with North America and Europe for this show, so we're not going to give it to their YouTube channel. It's a really, really good show. It's a fun show. So season 1 will be coming out, and that'll be getting people in the mood leading up and building towards next year's man versus machine, woman versus machine in Saudi Arabia. So Dimitri, we're supporting you in every sense of the word.
Thank you so much.
And very quickly, 2 final things before I bore everyone to sleep. Most important thing for our football club, UniX Labs, who are playing at the second level of Belarusian football at the moment. So that's the level below the Premier League. They won their first game at the weekend, so they are now 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. They are 3 points off top spot. Top two teams go to the Premier League. Now, why is this important? Why am I mentioning this? Because a lot of our tech we're transferring to the football club. We're learning from them and taking it back to improve our tech, because the only way you can get real time in understanding and knowledge for tech, as Dimitri knows well from his work in from space travel as well. Not that Dimitri was in space, but from putting together stuff for space, you need to have lived experience for this. So and real experience. So the players are putting this together. They're getting the real experience. That's one thing that's feeding back into our tech. So the higher it goes, the more people are looking at our brand and go, oh, it's working. They're actually, this team is winning. The other thing is that there's a very, very good chance this season the guys in the club, Uni X Labs Football Club, are saying, no, next season we might go to the Premier League. But if they go to the Premier League, just so you understand, I've worked with major teams in Europe, from Eintracht Frankfurt to Hajduk Split, Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia, and Spartak Moscow, across the continent. I've seen how this works. When you start to move up, the top two teams in the Belarusian Premier League will qualify for European competition, UEFA competition. Cup winners or cup runners up will go in as well. So there's a minimum of 3 places available in Europe. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot. If we look at, say, the English Premier League, it takes tens, hundreds of millions to win the league. Liverpool, Man City, they put in hundreds of millions of dollars every year, euros every year, pounds every year. Here, it's an awful lot less. So with smart investment, using good tech, having good players, having a very good scouting system, which we have the tech all done for that. We know then how to win cheaper and smarter. As I say cheaper, that's wrong. With a more cost-effective and smarter way of winning. Now, everyone wants to do it, but now with tech, the influence of tech, it really is working. The team goes through into Europe. The minimum base that they're going to get if they progress past a couple of rounds is around 3 million euros. Not a huge amount of money. Doesn't look like a huge amount of money. It's come back into the company, yeah, but it doesn't make a huge difference. It's a year away. It's a year and a half away, 2 years away. But the brand recognition with other clubs around the world and in sports is huge. It's a massive amount of money to be counted on. So that alone, UniX Labs, the fact that they have won, they're brand new in the first division, they're starting to move forward. So this is thanks to Dimitri, to the guys who are in the tech, thanks to the football team as well, and to the whole company that are pushing this forward, because it's an ecosystem. It all works together. One won't win without the other. You know, if you're building a team, if the goalkeeper doesn't play well, the team loses. If you don't have a good striker who doesn't score goals, it makes it harder to win. So this is how we're working. One small final thing about Jiggle.
Alan,
Yeah.
I wanted to say that also we have the Brazil Capiara team and the Rio and Sobral teams that are also succeeding here in this part, and we wanted actually to invite Matulo Mindaugas, who is like the head of these academies, to be present at today's call. However, he was unable. I hope we'll be able to bring him to one of the calls further, and he will be more than happy to talk more about how the football is evolving, and the very correct point that you are saying, that live experience is giving us as a tech team of the project a lot of data to be working with and to bringing everything together. The whole idea from the very beginning was in that's why we initiated construction of our own academy in Brazil, and a lot of people were still looking at us and saying that we've gone crazy, but the whole idea was to have this synchronization between the field and the tech team, and we see that it's already working. And as long as we are talking about the blockchain sports here, we have not much time left, and I have a lot of topics yet to cover.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan. I will take the microphone from you here and now.
Fine.
It was incredibly interesting, but I feel sorry that we somehow didn't manage to invite you earlier on the call, because I'm sure the community should have liked you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Arjo.
All
thank
right.
you. So I will. So we have several more topics to cover, and I have been getting a lot of messages. The team has been getting a lot of messages on different parts of the project and how the things are going. The one of the most, of course, important parts of the project is the Atleta network and that Atleta and the Atla coin. That everyone is very interesting and how is it going. Basically, we have compelled presentation. I will open it up for you guys. 1 second, sorry. Can you guys see my screen? Yes.
I can see it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. 1 second. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing, if you're are you on PC?
Yeah.
If you hit F10, I think it becomes full screen for the actual presentation.
Uh-huh.
Never mind. We can run on this way.
Okay. No, I will spend much time now to see
Don't
how
worry
it
about
works.
it. Yeah, it looks fine. Fine.
Okay, so Atleta, we have compiled the big presentation. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, and mostly our community is aware of the statement that Atleta has and what solution we are bringing to the market. Basically, it's a big market that we are trying to merge, and the thesis is that sports as a public good is a very privately has a very private access, and we wanted to make everyone available to come. And the Atleta coin and the network is aimed to solve this problem altogether. This is a huge market with an infrastructure. And the whole solution of the Atleta network infrastructure has been already prepared. We have claimed this that we are technically fully ready. We have launched the testnet. It works fine, and the mainnet has been released on the local servers, so everything is working. We are just waiting for capability to go on listing and to open up the network for everyone. I will slide through firstly like basic slides that are just introduction to the project, because I think everyone has it. I think we will distribute this presentation to everyone about the nodes and about the market. But what I wanted to stop mostly is the traction in Atleta that we have today, where people are always asking for the updates on the traction. And yeah, as you can see, we have already a pretty big media following. It has been lately growing not so fast as it used to be, because we had to postpone a little bit the mainnet, and we are sure once we get there, we will get more traction. However, we have already over 40 million transactions on testnet with 550,000 wallets and in the system. 4,000 contracts deployed on the testnet of Atleta. It is a big number. Also, what is not shown in the presentation is that we have around 200 testnet tokens that were created by other projects on our testnet, which is a pretty huge thing. Which shows that people, different teams, different coins, crypto or IT products are waiting for the mainnet. And once we go to mainnet, they will be releasing their tokens on Atleta network, which will bring a lot of traction and transactions, new transactions within the testnet, not only on blockchain sports projects, but other projects will be evolving on our network, which is extremely extremely good. Also we have several partners. One of them is new, which I wanted to take, which is very crucial thing. We have partnered with Nansen, who are the on-chain analytics system. We uh, uh, are working with them. I also have screenshot of the posts in the Twitter so that everyone knows. You can go and check it in their social media, in Atleta social media. What is good about this collaboration is that that they have taken a part of the nodes that are supporting the network. So basically, this brings a lot of attraction to the network and also stability technical wise, because we are trying to decentralize the network as much as possible, and for it to be always working just as it should. And with the collaborations like this happening, we had several beforehand, but this is a pretty big one, and pretty big part of the nodes will be run with Nansen, which is an extremely good thing in terms of like technical democracy of the network. Yeah, these are pretty big guys. So, what about the Atleta launch? And I'm sorry, I will, yeah. So, what about the Atleta launch? We will be announcing it as soon as we have the date. Unfortunately, I am getting a lot of questions when will it happen. We have explained several times that for Atleta to go live, there are several factors that we need to cover up. To my sorry, we were not able to get all of this done to this point. We have initial agreements with several exchanges on the plan to go, but this needs a lot of steps to go down the road, and we are still in process. Once we have the information and the decision on how it is going to evolve, we are going to announce it as soon as possible. We understand that the community is waiting very much. We understand that these have been promised and announced several times. We just wanted to show today that the team is working, the team is here, and everything is being handled. We have no doubts in the success of the project, and need a little bit more time for that to happen. The same goes, for example, the contract that we have signed with Saudi Arabia, Dima, what I was talking about earlier. We have a big contract with the investors that has been signed, and we are expecting this institutional investor to come in. However, as I said, it took much more than we even expected in our darkest fears, and we are working, pushing, trying to make it happen as soon as soon as possible. But we didn't have yet everything we need from this contract. So we're hoping for this to resolve within the next month, let's say, a couple of weeks. And of course, once we have everything going on, we'll announce in our social media. The very big part that also we are getting a lot of questions about is the football transfers and what is going on with them. As we guys announced earlier, we have also already transferred six players to different clubs. This includes Russian, Belarusian, and one or two European clubs, if I'm not mistaken, something like.
And Japan.
Yeah, you're spoiling it, Alan. Wait a second. The first six were not in Japan. We have already announced the distribution that will happen from that. However, Dima on the last call promised to announce the dates and the numbers and how it is going to work in the 2 weeks in February. Basically, we were unable to succeed here. It takes, again, a lot of time to go through all the bureaucracy with the international banks and all of the stuff, plus some negative attitude that we are handling with is making it more difficult. But anyway, there is no doubt, there is no problem. We just need a little bit more time for money to flow in our bank accounts. After that, immediately it will be distributed within the Limitless community. And yes, as Alan mentioned, meanwhile, we have had several more transfers happening. We had, let me show, when. Yeah, we had our player Italo Diaz Menezes, who transferred from Macapiara. He went to FC Football Club Wyvern in Korea, Japan. This is a pretty big transfer that we are pretty proud of. You can see Mindaugas, him at the club. Once we have the numbers, when we have the opportunity to show what's going on, it's going to be announced additionally in our network. But anyway, this is a pretty big thing, and we have several other players after we had training sessions and a friendly tournament in Belarus, where our team came and participated, and we got good results. We have several of our children, of our players, how do you say it in English? Several clubs are watching after them. They are training with the players of these clubs now, and we are expecting to gain some offers very soon on that. Okay, that I also got covered. Let me see. I think I'm almost done. Dima, do you have or anything else that you wanted to cover?
I think we have covered pretty much everything. So yeah, look, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for having us here. I hope we've covered pretty much everything. If you have any questions, do write to us, and we'll cover them in the next session, or in local sessions when we speak to you in local respective time zones.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. We hope we covered more or less everything we could at the moment. We'll see you at the next calls. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.